Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Cartographics. Today, I'll be teaching you how to do the same thing we did on the last tutorial on creating documents, but this time around for Photoshop, and also sizing and fixing sizing issues, and finally how to export these files. So this is basically for new members or new bees in design industry, specifically for Photoshop. So what's the need for Photoshop if Illustrator is for designing logos? What's the need for Photoshop? Okay, so these are a few questions you need to understand about Photoshop. Number one, use Photoshop for making mockups easily than Illustrator. You can use Illustrator to do such, but there are limitations to that since everything is converted in vector shape. Number two, you use Photoshop to make placements of designs. For instance, you created let's start by creating a new document file. So I'll guide you through all these processes. It's very simple and you get to understand them. So first thing, when you get into Photoshop for the first time, you meet something like this. Okay, what you see in the background in recent files are all previous files that I've worked with saved in the back end, so that anyone I want to go and visit, I can practically click on it. If I want to go back and edit this particular mockups, I can practically click on it and to import it as long as the PSD file is still in my desktop. This is just like a shortcut that will pull the PSD file from wherever it is in your computer memory system and get it in here for you to work. Just like double clicking on your mockup that you saved somewhere. Probably we have a mockup here. Just like double clicking on something like so, and it appears in Photoshop. You understand that now? So it's still the same thing. So we clear this out and start afresh. So first thing, you meet something like so. If you don't meet something like this is where you create your document files. If you don't meet something like this, you can click on create new, or you go to files and click on new. So when you click on new, you get something like so. So practically you're going to face with you're not going to be faced with recent files. You're going to face with print files specifically. So these are print files for A5, A4, A3, and so on and so forth. These are stuff you're going to meet. For instance, you want to work with illustration. For web size, the size is like horizontal format. For mobile is vertical. Let me show you instance for iPhone X. So we create this mobile instance. It is vertical. So this one of artboard we'll be working with in Photoshop. So but for the importance of this tutorial, we are going to basically focus on how to do this manually. Okay, how to create files manually, and the reason for that, I elaborated that conspicuously on the last tutorial on AI creating files. So what we are going to do from here, what we going to do from here. So first thing you have to do is go to your width around this angle, okay, around the angle, and make sure every document file you're creating is above 2000. Why we do so, I'm talking based on the truth. If you have not watched the last tutorial on Illustrator, go back and watch it, because most things I'll be saying here will be like, I will not say them from scratch. I'm just trying to pick some points from the previous one and adding them to make up this tutorial in Photoshop. So make sure all files you are creating, the width and height is above 2000. Later I will teach you guys calculation on pixels, calculation on height and width and stuff like that, and which size you should use for which size of print and so on and so forth. Those are basically basic things people know, but most times you might run into problems when you actually don't do it the right way. Okay, so this is just it. The width is 2000 and the height is 2000. Okay, so with that being understood, if you create this file, we are going to get a squared artboard to work with. You see how simple that looks? So now we close it down again, we go back again and create a new file. So this time we're going to create a horizontal file. Remember I said make sure it is above 2000, both the height and width. This, and make sure the resolution is set to 300. This is to an RGB. The color scheme could be RGB. Okay. This is to make everything come out with a very high resolution. Okay, so 2000 times 2300 resolution. Okay, so we are working with pixels. Okay, don't work with inches. I will tell you when to work with inches and how to convert it to pixels. For instance, if you convert it to inches like so, we are getting 6.6 inches. 6 times 6 inches. Okay, hold on, let me pick this call. Okay, hello Hope. Yeah, good afternoon. Is anyone registered? But you said one was registered. You said one was registered yesterday. You told me, I don't know. You say you will check now. So how come both of them are rejected? Don't worry, I'll get back to you. I'm on a tutorial now. So sorry about that. I couldn't cut this or pause this. So you see what we have here? We have 6.6 times 6.6 height, width times height, 6.6. This means when you are measuring with the tape, you know what it means by 6 inches, okay? But now, what if the client wants a flyer of 3 inches by 3 inches? What will you do? Remember, I said everything must be above 2000 pixels. Now, let's convert 3 inches by 3 inches. Let's say this is 3 and this is by 3. Okay, this is what we have. Now let's convert it to pixels. We are getting less than 2000, and that is very bad here. Okay, so what are we going to do here? What you are going to do is this. If the client gives you a size of 3 inches, or let me even assume the client gives you a size of 1.5 inches. Okay, what you're going to do is 1.5 inches times 2 is 3 inches. You add it up here and convert it to pixels. If it doesn't amount to 2000 or above, you go back to your inches again, you add up again, probably you add 4.5, which makes 1.5 times 3. Okay, here you say again 4.5. This is just to make sure we still stay in the same range without going too far from that 2000. Okay, we now convert it to pixel with 135. Okay, so we don't have exactly what we are looking at. We go to inches again, we convert this to 6 times 6, which is tantamount to 1.5 times 4, which is still the same size with 1.5 inches, but times 4 in resolution with designing. When we are exporting, we give them the size to print by 1.5. It's still the same thing, but the resolution is very, very high. Okay, we try this in pixels, we have 1800. Okay, so what we are going to do next is, since we are not up to that, we're still going to add 1.5 again. So we call this 7.5. 7.5 times 7.5. Okay, now we try it by pixel. We have 2250 times 2250. So this is perfect for us. Okay, so if you have, I'm teaching you the calculation now. I said I'll teach later. So now this is just the basic of the calculation. Now if you have, for instance, let's say this is 6 times 6. Let me not confuse you that much. If we have, if the client sent a size resolution of 3 inches by 1.5 inches, so which means the width is 3 inches, the height is 1.5 inches, which means this is a vertical design, a horizontal design. I mean, not a vertical design, a horizontal design like a church flyer. So we have 3.0 inches times 1.5 inches. So what we're going to do is 3.0 inches is going to work with 6. 1.5 is going to automatically become 3 because it is times 2 we are calculating. This is 1.5, 3 inches times 2 makes 6. 1.5 times 2 makes 6. Remember, the person gave us the size of 3 times what? 1.5. Okay, 1.5 is going to be 3 because it's 1.5 times 2. Then 3 is going to be 6 because 3 inches times 2. All of them is times 2. Okay, do not say times 4 in this one and make times 2 in this one. It won't work. I hope you understand that now. So now we have that. We convert it to pixels to see if it amounts to 2000. It doesn't amount to 6000. What we are going to do, go back to inches, and we now, since this one is 3 times 2, we are going to make this times 3. Times 3 of this is going to be 9. Okay, And we are also going to make this times 3, not times 4. Times 3 of this is going to be 4.5. I hope you're understanding exactly what I'm trying to express here or explain here. So now we go back to pixels and see it is above 2000, and this is okay at 1500, because if you add some digits from here, it makes up 4000. So what we need is just the resolution should be about 2000 in width. The height doesn't matter, but it should be about 1000 or so. So this is perfect for what we are going to design. Okay, so now that is for calculation. Next thing is this: you have to create your orientation here. If you want it to be a vertical size, you click here. Automatically the 2700 will come to the width, height, and the 1350 will go to the width. Okay, if we click on this again, it will automatically switch places. I hope you understand that. So now you say we are working with horizontal fashion of design. So now we proceed with creating this artboard. See what we have here, very beautiful. We can start designing our work. So after designing our work, it's very simple to do. If you design with this resolution, you're not going to have problem with the resolution on Instagram and Facebook, like I illustrated, or like I said in the previous one. Now, if you want to, I see some people making the mistake of posting designs like this. Let me search for a design that is related to that. Let me go to my archives. So let me say, yes, I think this design, yeah, very good. So some of you go and post this kind of design on Instagram. Do not post this kind of design on Instagram. It doesn't work. Why? Why doesn't it work? Because Instagram only supports a squared design. Okay? So what I mean by that is this. This is where we need Photoshop. Okay? We click Control New. We create our size by 2000 times 2000, which I usually do. And we can remember, if you create these sizes, you have them in your recent items, so you can easily click it here and automatically it will apply there. Anyone you click here, automatically it will apply. Look at the last one we created, automatically applied. Create 2000 times 2000, automatically it applies. So we create that again. We can easily move our designs from here to the Photoshop. So why I usually use Photoshop to do most of my work is, you see, I move this design here. You can expand it to whatever size you want. Why I usually use Photoshop for exporting most of my assets is because why is this showing me the artboard? Okay. So why I usually do that is because if you are exporting PNG to a client, a transparent design to a client, do not export it. Do not use, let me expand this to the highest phase. So if you are doing that, do not use Illustrator to export like so, like dragging it to this export panel, then clicking this and exporting it as PNG like I showed you in the previous one. Do not just do that. Import it to Photoshop and remove the background and export it as PNG. Okay, export as PNG. This will make it available for all softwares, both PicArts, Pixel Lab, any software at all you want to use. They want to use this thing on it. Probably they want to place the logo on their product. They can just easily use this image and place on their product without having issues of backgrounds or logos having background issues or so. You might not understand what I mean, but when the client give you the issue, come back to this tutorial and you will have a fix for that. So for instance, we have this artboard. We have this artboard and we want this design we want this design, I won't take that call. We want this design on Instagram, but if we post design, we will lose some part of this. So what we are going to do is open up Photoshop, then drag this same design into Photoshop. Okay, in that square we have made, then you can expand it to whatever size you want. You see, if we expand it more than this, it is getting to the edge and this is not what we want. Okay, so to play around this, you can either make this background an even background. Don't mind the resolution of this design. I used a poor image. I'll talk about that before the end of this tutorial. So you can now make the other part of this design. You can make it yellow if you want. Don't know why my artboard effect not functional. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, so you can easily pick a color from here, then you can spread the color inside these places. So by so doing, it have like merged with the background of such a environment. So now you can export this and post it on Instagram with your image centered in the middle, not expanded to the edge and making it look so stupid as a design. Okay, so now when we are done with this, I want to teach you guys something. You will find issues when you download images. This is how to download images on Google. So for instance, we want to download images like here. Want the image. When you click on this image, wait for it to load. If you download this, let me save this. Okay, let me click another one. I want to show you something. I click this, I click save image. I say save. Okay, I've saved this first one. Then this one that loaded, I save it again. I save it. So now we have first image. The size of the first image, let me zoom closely so you see, is 13.4 kilobyte. The second image is 135 kilobytes. You see, it's not the same thing. Why? Let me show you. So we double click on this. You see the resolution of the image is very poor. You see it? Let's zoom closely and so you can see. See the resolution very poor. Now we open the second image. See the resolution very clean. Why is this? Why is it that some images you download have poor resolution and some have high resolution? Look at what you do. When you click on an image on Google, wait for it to load. Do not just go and click and download. If you watch beneath this image, there is a line that shows a loading timeline. So click on this. You see a loading icon beneath, a loading line that shows that this image is actually loading to the highest resolution. You see the poor resolution, you will see the high resolution. You see it? So allow it, like, let me say, some seconds, like 6-7 seconds. Don't just click on the image and start downloading immediately. No, allow it. This is another trick on how you get high resolution on Google if you don't want to go to stock photos or stock pages. So that is it for that. When you import this image to this artboard, let's change the name. Let's change the name to the format. I'll teach you guys format very soon. JPG, and we say yes. I don't know if this is gonna work. We pull it in. We are having an issue here. Okay, we remove this effect. Okay, so we pull it in. This is what we have in the first one. We put the second one in. This is what we have in the second one. So these two are not the same. See, the resolution is very, very different. Now, when you export, when you import, one bad thing about poor resolution images, when you finish designing with a poor resolution image and you click on Control Save, you save it as JPG and to the desktop, you are going to get poor resolution image too. It's not because you saved on a high resolution artboard that means that this image automatically becomes a high resolution. Even in most cases, images will affect the artboard you are using. So you see the image resolution we are having here, 928 kilobyte, very high, higher than the higher resolution one, which is 1.335 kilobytes. But when we open the image, we are going to still find a poor resolution image, a very poor resolution image. You see it? So, but if you import this high resolution image, you are going to get a very high resolution image. So let's try it out and see. I like saving my image name with rubbish because I don't have a lot of time to do that. So we can now see that the image quality here is high with the artboard we exported it with, even having time to load. You see it very, very high in resolution. So that simple trick on how to work around your creating of documents saving of documents and sizing issues fixing. That's very simple. I never taught you guys on how to save documents. So let's click to save document. You can save documents, click on the name, select on desktop, and now you can select on document format. The best document format, the first one is PSD. PSD means you want to save it so that if you click on it again, you are going to see the file again and start editing from where you stop. Let me show you an example of what that means for new members. So when we save it, you see we get a file like this above. Okay? So when you click or double click on this file, it's going to open the same file like this. Look at it, I've opened the file. We can start editing even with the images inside of it. Okay, without having issues. Now that is number one of file save. Number two, which I recommend, is you can save, don't save these files I don't understand. Let me zoom closely so you see. These files I don't understand what they are for, but whenever the time comes, you will use them. So the next one is JPG, which is the normal image format that have background. You can save for profile pictures, for posting on Instagram and so. The third one I usually like using is PDF. This is if you want to print this file, you can export it as PDF. So I can print it in case they are using what's the name, CorelDRAW. Okay, so this is raw. Raw is when you are using photography. That's not our business for now. So this PNG, when you want to export it as without background, but make sure you remove the background panel here before exporting as PNG, or else you will find an error with the image having a background. So this is just the three formats I find it easy using, and it is going well with me and my clients, and I think that will also work well for you. So that's it today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. I took time to prepare this. I took time to detail it down so that you won't have issues with any part of it. So let's delete all these things. We don't need them anymore. So we delete even this. We don't need this anymore. But if you need yours, you can save it. That is it, guys. Once again, this is Manuel signing out. Remain blessed and enjoy the rest of your day.